What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I'm going to continue with the heavyweight grudge match with the Italian heavyweight champion of the world, Primo Carnera, the Ambling Elf. And he would be brought over from Italy to the United States to face, at that time, the American heavyweight champion of the world, Max Schmeling. But in 1932, with a return go, our future heavyweight champion, Jack Sharkey, those plans would quickly change. And on June 29th, 1933, the Ambling Elf would be facing the Boston Gob, the American heavyweight champion, Jack Sharkey. Now, this shouldn't be a problem, because on October 12, 1931, Jack Sharkey defeated Primo Carnera. This fight took place in Brooklyn. It was a 15-round affair. So that should just be a tune-up for Jack Sharkey, because the original plan was to face Tommy Loughran, and that would be a rematch, because they fought one another in an elimination match for Gene Tunney's vacant heavyweight championship. So now, to get a better understanding of the opponent, the Italian heavyweight Primo Carnera, let's look into his profile. The Ambling Elf, Primo Carnera, was born October 6, 1906 in Squares, Italy, and he died June 29, 1967 in Squares, Italy. He stood 6'5" 3/4 inches and weighed 238 to 284 pounds. He was managed by Leo C., Frank Churchill, Louis Scouse, Billy Duffy, and Walter Friedman. Primo Carnera was a very strong and powerful giant man. He was brought over from Italy because they wanted to dominate the sport and the U.S. lands. Now, Primo Carnera was very muscular bound, and he was very, very physical. But it was very hard for him to fluently throw punches with shoulder snap to hurt his opponent. But some way, somehow, he found out ways to knock his opponent out. He was extremely strong and able to knock out his opponents, causing them to lay stiff on the canvas. Because of the backers Primo Carnera was involved in, they would think there would be fixed fights. But Primo Carnera was a very, very strong opponent. Now, from the 1940s to the 1950s, he owned an Italian restaurant on Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, close to the 20th Century Fox Studios in the 1960s. He owned a liquor store on South Grand Boulevard in Glensdale, California. Along with his wife, he spent the last years in Los Angeles living in an apartment on Culver City. He would eventually go back to Italy and die in 1966. But when he was around boxing, he was the talk of the town. January 24th, he would face fighters such as Big Boy Anderson, Cowboy Billy Owens, Roy Ace Clark, Neil Clisby, Chuck Wiggins. He would have over 100 exhibitions. 1931, March 5th, he would face Jim Maloney. Now, Jim Maloney was a very experienced heavyweight. Jack Sharkey was disqualified in a match with Jim Maloney for hitting him low. Jack Sharkey always thought, until the day he retired from boxing, that Jim Maloney had faked that low blow incident. it caused Jack Sharkey to lose that particular match and set him back for his dreams of becoming heavyweight champion of the world. But Primo Carnera would defeat Jim Maloney March 5th, 1931. Miami, Florida, he would defeat him in 10 rounds. Primo Carnera would have 10 fights in 1931. October 12th, he would face Jack Sharkey and would lose a 15-round decision in Brooklyn, New York. On November 19th, he would face Kingfish Levinsky and defeat him in 10 rounds. He would face massive 6'6" heavyweight Vittorio Campolo. Vittorio Campolo was from Argentina, and he was a South American heavyweight champion. He would face Neil Clisby. He would train with South American Paulino Escudon. He would have tough sparring sessions with Phil Floto, Los Angeles heavyweight. He would have 29 fights in 1932. 1933, he would face Ernie Scaff. Now, Ernie Scaff would face Max Baer earlier that year. And when he got in the ring with Primo Carnera, 2 punches, and Ernie Scaff would collapse, and 2 weeks later in the hospital he would die. This unfortunate incident would have said that it would change Primo Carnera's life forever. And he couldn't hit hard, he was not able to follow up on his punches. And this not help him in 1933 when he would face Jack Sharkey, Long Island, June 29th. Because after several discussions with his handlers, he was said to have been invincible and no one could defeat him, and he would be the strongest man in the world, and he would be sent back to Italy with a pocket full of money and pride amongst his peers. So on June 29th, 1933, the fight would come between him and his opponent, who would be a heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Sharkey. So Jack Sharkey, the American heavyweight champion, would face the Italian-American heavyweight, Primo Carnera. And after 6 rounds of brutality, the brand new heavyweight champion of the world would be the Ambling Elf, Primo Carnera. So there you have it. So the American champion, Jack Sharkey has passed the torch to the Italian heavyweight champion, Primo Carnera. So until the next heavyweight grudge match, I would like to say thanks for hanging in there with me. This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Look out for the next heavyweight champion grudge match. Primo Carnera would have to defend his title against Max Baer. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Peace.